Mr. Dangerous here, and this is part 2 of a kind of tutorial stroke flight example with the PMDG 747. We're still at gate 329 at Heathrow, but we're now ready for our pushback. So that's what we're going to do next. So first things first, we'll come around here. We need to shut the main exit. As the door closes in, press Control and J to take the jetway away. You can see that's coming away from the plane now. Doing the doors, the overhead. Okay, first things first. You'd first off call for clearance. From ATC, you get your clearance for the flight plan that you filed, so you write all the bits and pieces down there. You've done that before now. Then you'll call to say you're ready for push and start, which you do after this little procedure. So now we need the APU running, so click that to start it. And we'll wait for the APU gen lights to light up, which will mean we'll go from external power onto the APU power. So wait for those to light up. We'll make sure that our hydraulic demand pump 4 is on auxiliary, the rest are on auto. All the pumps are on, all the bus ties are on. Okay, and we'll come down here, we want all of our fuel pumps on. For the fuel, the tanks that have actually got fuel in, which I haven't got any in the centre tanks, I haven't got any in the stabiliser tanks, and I've got more fuel in the main 2 and 3 tanks than I have in the 1 and 4, which means I need the override pumps on and the cross feeds also on. So then we come up here, we've got dampers on, that's all on. Right, now we've got our APU gens available, so we go from external power onto APU power. There we go. And we want engine bleeds and APU bleed. Now we're going to start the engine. So we want the beacon on. We'll leave the overhead panel up for that. Now we need to do our pushback. So if we have a look at where we need to be going, as we're looking at it now, left and out this little dog leg down here, and then we'll turn left here, come down where the cursor's going along taxiway. I believe that's taxiway Echo there. Let's have it E or F, and then we'll come down there, zoom out a bit, and then we'll go round onto Bravo taxiway, come down all the way down past Terminal 5. And this is runway 9 right, so we'll taxi to the end of it, and that's where we'll be getting on. Now, we need to be going that way, which means we need our plane to be facing left. So we click the pushback up, and we need it to be turning us left 90 degrees. So we come to left 90, when it actually does it. Go. And from experience, you get used to this thing. You think you're not pushing back very far, but then it pushes back a silly amount, and you end up over the other side of the apron, possibly interacting with other aircraft that are over there. So we'll push back a distance of 4, and I think that's supposed to be 4 feet, but you'll see it's definitely a lot more than 4 feet. So now we're going to bring. We need to start the pushback. So we right-click the centre button. Left-click it.
Ground cockpit. Hi, Captain.
Bring the ECAS panel up.
Here we've been cleared to push in. Start at your discretion.
We've got the engine panel up here.
Roger that. Ready for push. Power and air clear. Doors closed. We are ready for pushback. Please parking brake, please.
Okay, so ground crew wants us to release the parking brake.
Okay, parking brake is off. Clear to push.
Right, so now we'll start 1 and 4. So click the fuel control switches, the cut-off switches to on. starters to on for 1 and 4. And you can see the
On behalf of the captain and crew, welcome aboard. At this time,
engines
make
building
sure
up on
your
1 and 4.
seat tables are in their full upright
I
position.
always like to watch
Make
the
sure your
pushback from
seatbelt is
outside,
correctly fastened.
purely and
Also,
simply
we advise
because
you
I
that
don't
at
trust
this
the
moment,
pushback truck.
any electronic equipment must be turned off. Thank you.
So you can hear the engine spooling up now on 1 and 4. So he supposedly pushed that back 4 feet before he started turning, and you can quite evidently see us about 1 and 4 feet. That's the starter switch is kicking out, so 1 and 4 is running. Now hopefully, from what I remember, we should be somewhere near the centre line of that taxiway by the time it's finished pushing us out. Right, we go back inside, because there's a slipper wrong with that. Right. Flick 2 and 3 cut-offs on, and the starters. And of course these 2 engines build up then. Yeah, then start to turn now. So we don't need the throttle panel now, so we'll get rid of that. Finish the pushback. There we go. Now we should get a message from the ground crew saying put the parking brake on. Which makes
Alright, brakes are set and pressure's normal.
Okay, sir. Tilt bar is off. Pin is out. Watch for the pin on the right.
Alright guys, thanks. You're cleared to disconnect. We will be watching for the pin and the release from guidance on the right side of the airplane, and we'll see you guys next time through.
Roger that.
So we'll get rid of the ECAS for now. And then we can switch the APU off because we don't actually need it, and the APU bleed. And now we can switch our 4 hydraulics to auto from auxiliary. And then we come down here, check everything, it's all sorted, yes. And then we want our taxi lights on, because we're going to taxi in a minute. And then I'll cast panel up again, and I want to come to the status page, because we're now going to check our flight controls. You can see here they are, just here. So, move the stick to the full left, to the full right, and back to neutral. Pull back, all the way forward, and neutral, and then left rudder, and right rudder, and back to neutral. So all the flight controls are working properly. And we'll check the door page, make sure the doors are shut, which they are. Gear page, nothing much going on there. Hydraulics, everything's good. Aircon, pressurization, everything good. Fuel already checked. Electric's good. Okay, go back to engine. Get rid of the ECAS. Get rid of the overhead. Don't need that now. Right. Now I want the. Where is it? No. Com panel up. Because we now need to put a transponder onto the ground mode. And we'll do this one here, we'll set the brakes to eject and take off, auto brake. Then it'll be then time to go to virtual cockpit and taxi to the runway. I just find the 2D cockpits a lot easier for doing what we've just done. So here, the virtual cockpit, bring that down so you can see it. Clip the yoke out of the way. Right, so we'll set our flaps up first. We want flaps 10, so that's 1, 5 and 10. And then we should be good to go then. Obviously I'm probably going to make lots of mistakes, but there we go. Now, if I want to start moving, I'm going to set up. Oh, I can't yet, I've got the flight director on the way. Right, so we'll put the flight director on. As you can see, we've got toga mode up, and LNAV and VNav, which is arming our flight plan and our altitudes and speeds for the autopilot. And the flaps, they're going up. And now we can release the parking brake. I haven't got any AI set up, we're not online, so we don't need to call for taxi clearance. We'll start going. Gently spool the throttles up.
Now we
Get the big old bird moving.
as the flight
The
attendants
cabin crew
demonstrate
from
the
Virgin
safety
is
features
now
of this aircraft.
going through their flight.
When the seatbelt sign illuminates, you must fasten your seatbelt. Insert the
pre-flight
belt fittings one to the
instructions.
other and tighten by pulling on the loose end of the
Make
strap.
sure we don't go
To
over
release
20
your
knots.
seatbelt, lift the
Taxi.
upper nut of the buckle. We suggest that you
Come
keep
around
your
here.
seatbelt fastened throughout the flight,
Do a brake
as
test.
we may experience turbulence.
Straighten up.
There are several emergency exits on
Test.
Please take
Okay.
a few moments now to locate your nearest exit. In some cases, your nearest exit may
Start
be
going
behind
again.
you.
Press the
If we
brake a
need
bit
to
too much
evacuate
there.
the aircraft, floor level lighting will guide you toward the exit. Doors can be opened by moving the handle in the
No, I'm
direction
by
of
no
the
means a
arrow.
real pilot, so
Each door is equipped with an inflatable slide, which may also be detached
bear
and
with me a
used
little
as
bit.
a life
Okay.
raft. Oxygen and the air pressure are always being monitored. In the event of a decompression,
So we're going to
an
come up to
oxygen
the
mask
centre
will
line now. I think with the
automatically appear in front of
747 and other heavy
you. To start
aircraft
the
is
flow of oxygen,
you actually
pull the
sat
mask
further
toward you.
forward of the front
Place it
wheel.
firmly over your nose and
So
mouth.
you need to
Secure the
virtually go
elastic band behind
past
your head and breathe
where you go
normally.
to
Although the band does not inflate, oxygen is flowing to the
and
mask.
now start
If
turning.
you are traveling with a child or someone who requires assistance, secure your mask on first and then assist the other person. Keep your mask on until a uniformed crew member advises you to remove it. In the event of an emergency, please assume the bracing position. Lean forward with your hands on top of your head
Now we
and your
taxi
elbows
down
against
this
your thighs.
taxiway,
your
which
feet are
I
flat
think
on the
is
A life
either
vest is
Echo or
located in the
Foxtrot.
pouch under your seat or between the
And I'll follow
armrests.
this all the way
When
around
instructed
here.
to do so, open the plastic pouch and remove the vest. Slip it over your head, pass
Sure
the
we don't
straps
go over
around
20
your
knots
waist, and
whilst
adjust
taxiing.
the front. To inflate the vest,
You can see that on the
pull
navigation
firmly
display.
on the red
There's,
cord.
where it says
Only
GS
when
in the top
leaving
left
the
of the
aircraft.
navigation display,
If
just
you need to refill
here.
the vest,
That's how
blow
fast
into
we're
the
going. So we're going
mouthpieces.
11 knots, 10
Use the
knots.
whistle and light to attract attention. Also, your seat bottom cushion can be used as a flotation device.
No, we don't want the next
Pull the cushion
taxiway,
from the
we
seat,
want the one after
slip
that.
your arms into the straps, and hug the cushion to your chest. The following electronic devices, calculators, CD players, and laptop computers, may be used when the seatbelt
Right, so
sign is
we're on the
on
next
or
taxiway.
when permitted by your crew.
After this
Cellular
little
mobile
verge of
telephones,
grass.
remote-controlled toys, or any electronic device operating with an antenna must be turned at all times. We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight. Tampering with, disabling, or destroying the smoke detectors located in the lavatories is
So
prohibited
it's
by
going
law.
past where we need to
You
go.
will find this and all safety information with the card located in the seat pocket in front of you. We strongly suggest you read it before takeoff.
Ah, it was Foxtrot.
If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask one of our crew members. We wish you all an enjoyable flight.
And now it's just a case of following taxiway Bravo all the way to the holding point for runway 9 right. Now I know from experience that if you pretty much line yourself up with the centre line of the taxiway, that should be pretty much on the centre line. Okay, now so we'll do our before takeoff checklist now. So make sure we've got APU off, passenger signs on, flaps are set for takeoff. And for some reason, hopefully somebody in the know can tell me, but when I armed the auto throttle for takeoff, I get, as soon as I go to takeoff thrust, I get this red alarm warning and it starts going nuts basically until I disarm the spoilers. So that's why I haven't armed them. So if anybody knows how to actually do it properly, stop it from going berserk when I try to take off, then that would be appreciated. Right, so carry on taxiing down here. We know that we've got our taxi lights on. Just need to put the landing lights and strobe on when I get to the actual runway itself before we go onto it. then we need to turn the TCAS on as well. Put it into TARA mode, so we start picking up any aircraft that's in the vicinity, except there's no AI and we're not online, so automatically. We're just coming up to Terminal 5, which is there. That's building 5B, I think, and I think that's 5C, the big one. Quite often when I'm online, depending on how busy it is, like because there's a lot of British Airways that fly on VATSIM, I normally get told to hold here or a bit further up, depending on whether there's British Airways taxiing along this taxiway at the same time. So I keep taxiing along here. Bravo taxiway goes around there. Now coming up to the left turn. And this is the holding point I got the other day. I've no idea what it's called, I can't remember. But I had to hold here at this line where this little red marker is. When I was given my clearance, I'd carry on down this bit. Right, so slow down to less than 10 knots for our turn. Once again, go past where you think you need to turn. Which is there. Swing round. You think you're on the grass, but you're actually not. As you turn around, you'll see everybody on the centre line. Here's the proper runway holding points where we're going to stop. Got our lights and everything on. Okay, we'll do this from the virtual cockpit, even though it's easier to go to 2D panel. Landing lights on, transponder, it's TARA. Just get that centred. There we go. Right, now we've got everything on, flaps ready for takeoff. So now taxi onto the actual runway. Again, normally I'll be looking out the window to see if there's anything coming, but no, there isn't, so can line up, not a problem. Around we come, to runway 9 right, pretty much by the looks of things. As soon as we take off, we've got a right turn for our SID. Okay, now I've done the taxi. That concludes part 2. Part 3 is next, which will be the takeoff and the climb. So I'll see you for that.